I'm really, really excited.
Yay!
People have been asking, and we are going to deliver. We actually got so many requests, and I'm really happy we were able to make something happen last minute. Tell the news, Jess.
We are doing a final merch drop.
Woo! Okay. Also, it's just really cute.
It's so cute.
Chatty Broads forever.
I love them.
It's like I'm gonna keep the shirt and sweatshirt forever. They're really cute.
This is going to be a nostalgia moment for always. Whenever I put it on, I'm going to get all sorts of emotion.
I'm so excited. So there's 2 styles. They're really cute. Both come in a t-shirt and sweatshirt option. We just wanted to keep things simple. Coming out next Thursday. So that is November 17th. Yes, November 17th it will be dropping. We're super excited. Everything's going to be made to order. And also we have discounts on Bros merch because, Bros is forever too. But Bros merch is actually going to be online also next Thursday. And I believe 20% off, maybe a little bit more. So you guys can go.
We'll post all about it. We'll have the links in the episode notes when it is all launching and all of that. And super excited about it.
Yeah.
And welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Dun 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 dun. Ooh, see that painting?
Yeah.
My buddy painted that for me. He's like an amazing artist in Canada. Pretty sick, right?
Did he really paint that for you?
100%?
You're not fucking with me?
Not at all.
Your buddy just paints landscapes?
Yeah, he's like incredible.
That's a nice gift.
Mm-hmm. And he's just a roofer in Canada, but he just has this freak ability.
Why don't you hang it up?
I was cleaning.
Evan's showing this painting off to me, and it's just like on its side on the floor, just like
I was doing some cleaning today.
He's got like he's got the dirty studio blanket next to it, and he's trying to show off this fine piece of art to me.
Here, grab it.
He has it literally positioned like it's a motel painting that they just like have, and he's asking me about like, what do you think about that?
First of all, I was cleaning, and then I realized it was right next to you, and I said, "Oh yeah, my buddy painted that."
You have to present it in a way.
Look at that thing.
Shows you're proud.
It's the real deal.
It's a full
blown of the Canadian landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's just like this, like, it was just this crazy artist who doesn't even like, he's the guy with the crazy stories.
Yeah.
The craziest stories you've ever heard in your life. That guy has endless amounts.
Like ghost riding the whip, knife fights.
Oh, yes. Nice fights and the whole thing. Yeah. Shitting himself while the cop pulls him over and he's sitting in it. Like there's this endless, every time we talk, it's like once a year maybe. And he's just like, oh yeah, the craziest thing happened to me yesterday. And I was like, yeah, that's the crazy, that has never happened to me. And nothing even as close to as crazy has happened to me like that. Do you have friends like that just like always somehow get into just the most wild things?
Yes.
What do you think that is? Do you think the universe just does crazy things to certain people? Or do you think
to the right people?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Or do you think that they just get themselves into these situations, or ignore the warning signs?
It's all of the above.
Because my thought is it must be that they ignore the warning signs.
Well, there's places like my buddy who I'm thinking of, who always has like some crazy stories, is also always in positions where you're like, I don't think I'd ever find myself there.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, oh, I went down the street, and our brain goes, oh, I should turn around here. And they just go, let's keep going.
Also,
and
like,
then you end up in some situation.
If he's telling me like he's at the bar, it's not like the type of bar I might necessarily have in my mind.
Right. Or like that and he's also not behaving at the bar that you would behave. So it's like,
yes,
they're asking for those interesting people to come over to you, or those precarious situations to happen.
Yes.
I wish crazier things have happened to me in that way, just for the stories alone.
Crazy things happen to me. Well, that's why it's fun to hang out with people like that.
Yes, I like being, maybe I don't want it to happen to me, but I like being in its reach.
There was a period where that was the thrive, was to just be surrounded by people like that.
Well, I remember...
So that you just could accumulate stories.
Well, it's funny. I remember being with him, and we were in Canada, and we went to a bar just to have a drink. And we got there and it was really crowded. It was kind of like a college night or something. It was really busy. And we just walked in. They were on the patio, probably 5 people. I went to go get a couple drinks, came back, and there was this guy that was kind of like talking to him. And I didn't even see what happened. I didn't know what they were talking about. And I just look over and I see the guy, because my buddy's holding a piece of pizza, and I see the guy just hit the pizza out of my friend's hand. Next thing you know, massive bar fight. Like in the middle of the street. And I'm like, I would have never been in this if it wasn't for this guy and the pizza debacle. And of course, his version of the story is just like, I don't know, I wasn't doing anything, and he just hit the pizza out of my thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that's not exactly the totality of the story. But it's like, I just would have never gotten to the place where the guy hits the pizza out of my hand. But somehow it got too far. We were like, whoa, and we're spilling over, and it's all people are throwing like trash cans and stuff. And it's just like, I didn't get us here. Like this guy did. Like the many things, the many situations we've been in. It's because of this guy. And it's funny too, because he's like a little guy. He's like buff and short. And then the other guy in the group is 6'5". Right, and they're best friends. They're cousins too, and the tall one, the tall one is like this. He's super passive, never say a bad word, never get in a fight ever. And then the shorter one is like always in fights, always in this precarious situation. Of course, the tall one's an engineer, and the shorter one's a roofer. You know what I mean? It's just chaos.
I love that they're best friends and cousins and Canadian.
And a foot difference in height.
Yeah. Of course.
Anyway, what a way to start the pod out. Should we crack these ML smoothies?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's ice cold.
They're super good. Me and your wife were drinking them earlier.
All right.
They're amazing.
Oof, they are fantastic.
Dude, Ember
buttery smooth
was killing me.
Yeah, she's a character, isn't she?
I was just hanging out with Ember. I was having dinner with these guys, and Ember and I were hanging out for the first time in a long time. And she was showing me her new skills in writing and math and stuff. And like I corrected one of her numbers, which
that's a 50-50 situation.
It's a 50-50. Didn't know how that was going to go. She took it well. She took the criticism well, though. And then she was showing me her skill with her letters. And she goes, I'm going to write something for you. And I said, okay. She writes out this thing. And I said, me and Jess were like, what does that say?
Right.
And she goes, it's an L, what looks like a G, an I, and a T. I was like, legit.
Yeah.
And she goes, I said, what does that say? She goes, I am legit. Just owned my ass.
Nothing could be more my daughter.
So hard.
Like I was telling you earlier, I just walked out. I picked her up from school, and I was like, how was your day? Good. I said, Ember, you look so pretty right now. And she goes, I know. It's just like, got it. Like, imagine just the confidence just to be like, and it's not even funny to her. It's like, she's not chuckling at it. She's not walking by laughing at like, that's funny, right? It's like, no, like, I'm just 100% legit.
The
like,
legit, the way she spelled it was like, that is how you'd spell legit.
Yeah, like the way we legit.
Yeah, just LGIT.
Yeah, why waste any time?
I'm legit. Because you're not really pronouncing it as legit.
I can't wait to start introducing her to things like pneumonia, pseudo, like where there's P's and N's and all these things that you don't,
right when like, you think it all made sense.
It's like threw a bunch of P's on
or
the
Y. Just when Y suddenly is getting used and not an I.
Right. Now, do you know why P's are on the front of all these things? Pneumonia, Psalms, or a T, tsunami. Like, why any of these letters are at the front of these words?
No.
It makes no sense to me. Like, why is a T on the front of tsunami?
I do.
Like, if you just get rid of the T, it's the perfect it's the perfect thing.
I do like to feel like when I say pneumonia that I'm conscious of the P in front of it, and it sounds different Pneumonia. That time I said it with the P.
But it sounds almost like you're adding an M. Like
no. This time I'm not going to have the P.
Okay.
Pneumonia.
Okay, now
this time I'm going to add the P. Pneumonia.
It's the same.
No,
you're just going. You're just adding like a flicker on the N.
Pneumonia.
It's like pneumonia. To tsunami. Like
tsunami.
Yeah, that works a little more.
Tsunami. Yeah, tsunami makes sense to me.
Now, do you think it's just because these words aren't English words? Probably like tsunami,
pneumonia. Pseudo.
Maybe they're not English words, or like French or something.
That's the thing, though, is if pseudo was spelled SEUDO.
Pseudo.
No, it's not the same thing as PSEU.
What? But I understand that's P, but P of all the ones you could do, maybe T.
I would be like, if I saw SEUDO, I'd be like pseudo.
Where's the A?
Pseudo.
No.
Yeah.
No, why would you add an A?
Or I'd be like pseudo.
I mean, I see an argument for that.
But with the P, I'd be like, pseudo.
Right, okay.
I don't know why.
That's what I'm saying, because you're just used to it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why is this the case?
Some etymological stuff.
Ooh.
It's about word structure.
Etymological? Is that a thing?
Etymology.
I know etymology is, but is etymological a word?
I have no idea.
I like
but
that you just
if it were, that's the way it would be used.
Whoa. That's actually true. I get tripped up on like when things are plural.
Have you ever
like goose and geese and all these things? You're like,
yes.
Sometimes it gets weird where you're like
mice and meese.
Yeah. Why are mice?
Meese.
Why are mice plural and singular, but then goose and geese? Why do they separate them?
And then moose and meeses.
No.
Isn't it the thing? The herd of meese?
Did you see those mooses running across?
No, moose is the one where it's just moose is also, moose is just moose.
Just like mice.
A herd of moose.
Oh, yeah, mouse and mice. And then moose is a singular. Meese is a thing. Bison.
Yeah, instead of buffalo. It's a huge deviation.
It's a different word.
It's a bison or a buffalo or a herd of bison. Or
a herd of buffalo, no?
Yeah. But maybe there's a difference there.
Maybe there's a difference there. It's so confusing.
All right, broads, interrupting the bros. So we like to keep it light and fun here on the pod most of the time, but every once in a while we got to keep it real with you all and get serious. And the time is now, Broad Squad, okay? The holiday madness is quickly descending on us. Are you ready? Like really ready. If not, that's okay. It's okay, because as your friends, it is our job to help you get there. Here at Chatty Broads, we love stamps.com all year, but especially this time of the year. They keep us on top of shipping, packing, and tracking holiday goodies to loved ones near and far.
They sure do. The post office is not on my top list of places I love going at any time of the year.
No, ma'am.
But no, during the holidays, during like November and December, oh my God, it's an absolute nightmare. The lines are insane. The parking's horrible. Oh God. With stamps.com, you can do everything you need to do at the post office right from your home computer. All you need is a printer. You can create and print labels. You can schedule pickups from your front door. You can track the packages, compare rates across carriers, track your packages until they make it safely to their destination. Everything.
It's amazing. And when you ship with stamps.com, you'll even get access to savings that you wouldn't get at the post office, like major discounts on USPS and UPS shipping rates. We're talking like 86% off in some cases.
This holiday season, trade late nights for silent nights and get started with stamps.com today. Okay, so when you sign up with promo code Chatty, you're going to get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, free postage, and a free digital scale, which I use all the time for shipping stuff. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to stamps.com, click on the mic at the top of the page, and enter code Chatty.
So it might seem a little bit early to start thinking about New Year's resolutions, and it is. Okay, we're in November.
Right around the corner, though.
But we're in November. We got for God's sakes, we're in November. It's not too early though to maybe start thinking about your New Year's resolutions, right? A pre-think, let's say. For example, I have a feeling one of my resolutions will be around my overall health, because it usually always is, which means I start thinking about what I want to focus on and how I'm going to measure that. And this year, it's going to be a whole lot easier because I have Everlywell to help me out.
We love Everlywell, and it lets you test yourself in your own home to get an understanding of certain measures of your health. There's more than 30 different tests to choose from too. So whether you want to check out the sleep and stress test, or maybe you want to see how your hormone levels are doing, or maybe you want to take an STD test, there are so many options. They have all the tests you need available for delivery right to your door.
And once the test arrives, it's super easy to collect what you need.
So easy.
So easy. You just follow the instructions in the box and mail everything back with the prepaid label. And after just a few days, digital physician reviewed results are sent straight to your device, so you can easily review them, and you can even share them with your primary care doctor if you need to discuss anything further.
The gift of health has never been as easy to share as it is this holiday. For listeners of the show, Everlywell is offering a discount of 20% off an at-home lab test at everlywell.com/chatty. That's everlywell.com/chatty for 20% off your next at-home lab test. everlywell.com/chatty.
This was making me think of last night. Becca and I were watching these YouTube videos. We randomly just did like a YouTube dive. We were like watching funny videos on YouTube.
Sometimes you just go down the rabbit hole.
They were we wound up on these two guys' channel. They'd been on YouTube for like 10, 15 years, Becca was saying, but they used to be like super Christian. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
They do comedy shit, but they made commercials. They made like a bunch of commercials for like local businesses in their area.
No.
Oh my God, dude. I wish to God we could just show these on here.
They're great.
Just segue into YouTube review stuff.
just
That's
watching videos.
my story. That's my tangent for all of you listening. I can't even remember the name of the video.
But it was good.
But no, because it was very funny. But we were going to go, I was about to go into a whole thing, but it's really not going to make sense unless you see the video.
Seen it, no.
And I really don't want to explain it.
Yeah, that would be... Trying to explain a YouTube video to someone is a classic. Like you've had a little too much to drink and you're trying to describe something that's so funny to you. And then you kind of realize about 3 minutes into the story, you're like, this is not going well. And they're not thinking anywhere. This funny. And I can't describ kind of how this went.
The nuances of the video is just not going to translate.
It doesn't translate. What's worse? Yo, everyone out there is nothing worse than going out on a limb in a group of people, trying to describe a funny thing that happened, realizing a little bit through the story it's not going well, ending the story, and everyone just goes, "Oh yeah," and then you just go, "Yeah." Anyway, and just hoping someone else talks.
If you don't,
that feeling is unbelievable.
If you don't know anybody.
And you kind of go out on a limb and try to like,
oh my God. And you try to connect with the group. I just had that. I was just having that feeling the other day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of went a little too hard on the taking over a little bit.
Yeah. We were like,
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
It was just the feeling like you never know. Like it could all be in your head. It was just the feeling of like, replaying the conversation over and over.
Nothing's worse too on the drive home when you're like,
fuck.
Did they was that awkward or is that just me? Did you try and kind of like start to be funny and get into it, like launch into a bit or something, and then people were just not latching?
It was they overheard me on the phone with Becca.
Oh. And
all they heard was I was like, "No, I'm not drunk." I was like, I've had 2 beers. No, it's not drinking. I've had 2 beers. It's not the same thing as drinking because I was just taking a piss in the street.
Got it.
But that's like when you overhear that.
Wait, a piss in the street? I like how you just casually say that. Like that's a thing you do.
And
he goes, and.
And so when you hear that though of like, no, I'm not. I had 2 beers. That's not drinking.
It's also classic. It's such a drunk thing to say too. Like, no, I'm not drunk. I've only had 2 beers.
No, it's just like so not the case, you know? But it's like, no, I'm not. No, I haven't been drinking.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
I'm not out on the town.
So anyway, it was just like funny because I got asked about that. And then it was like, oh, like, you know, it just kind of, you're like, well, this is the dynamic.
Right. So then you start launching into like your relationship.
Accidentally. Yeah.
And then everyone's kind of like, uncomfortable maybe
like,
a little
oh
bit.
My God. They're like what? They're like, that's funny. And I was like, oh my God, dude, like you know, it was like, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, no one needs to fucking know what's going on.
You kind of see everybody start to
No
go
one
like,
gives a
anyway.
shit about what's going on. It's not like anything could be saying. It was just like,
Right.
it's a comment that you're just like, yeah, and you just move on.
Right.
You're not like, oh, everyone wants to hear the details.
Let me hear the whole diatribe about this.
It's just one of those, and then like a few minutes later, you're like, was that a miss?
Yeah, was that awkward? Are you someone that recounts social situations?
Yeah.
Really? You don't hit me as someone that would.
This is the whole thing. These is anxieties I carry. I'm just though, like, to me, there's like a war going on of like, it doesn't matter, but it does matter. Like, what am I going to do about it?
Like, it doesn't matter in the scope of your life, but it does matter in the scope of like your anxiety.
Yeah. But also,
but
like,
I always feel like you're a very, like, you're not a very filtered person. So I don't see you being like, oh my God, now I'm in my head about what I said. I feel like you're pretty like straightforward.
It's kind of compulsive.
Oh.
But yeah, like, I'm also just accepting of that. That's like how I am. Right. I'm not offensive most of the time. Like,
but you're just honest, and then like,
yeah.
But you don't hit me as someone that then like grinds about it later. But you'll think about it later.
Some cases I'll think about it later. Like certain like, relationships of like, I don't know, like just depending on what the type of relationship is to someone, then I'll like replay it. Like, especially if they're like people I'm going to be working with, or if they're like, I'm sort of close with someone. Like, if you were introducing me to people like you knew, I would probably think about those conversations.
There's nothing worse, because like there's like the new friend thing, there's that, but there's nothing worse than like you go to dinner or you go to a bar or you go to someone's house, whatever it is, and your friend introduces you to some people that you do want to be friends with, that you kind of like. Maybe you think they're cool. Mm-hmm. You like what they're into. You kind of want to be a part of that posse. And then you recount some moments that happened. Definitely. And then you start going, was that a miss? Was that weird? Did I say that weird? And then the whole time you're thinking like, I want to redo like that whole, like,
especially with people you think are cool.
Yeah. People you want to be in business with, or like people you wish that your business was like, whatever it is that you kind of look up to. And then you kind of tried too hard. There's that feeling of when you tried too hard.
It's that feeling of like, you feel like you want to impress somebody. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm at war with, is when I'm like feeling like that. Yeah. That's when I like think like, oh no, fuck that. I'm just going to say what I think, because that's what I do everywhere else. Right. So like, and then later, of course, I'll think all about it.
Right. So you'll have kind of this like, I don't care about it what anyone thinks, and then you'll really care what people think, which we all do. We all do.
You also learn how to like, discern a little bit.
Of course.
But like, I don't know. I think like I was in a weird situation lately where we were being asked for our opinions on a brand.
Okay.
This brand was like asking us about what we think of their products.
They're like, we want to get some ground level feedback from people who are in the business.
You guys think about our brand and like the direction things have been going.
But they were trying to get some feedback.
So we were like, dude, the brand's been like, let's be honest, it's suffering, been trash for like whatever. And we just kind of like laid into it and just gave our opinion.
And they weren't ready for that.
I think it was more like,
they were expecting, we love this, this, and this. This could use a little bit of work.
We were like, this is what was sick. And like, this is what it needs to be. But like, we were also talking of like, stop trying to compete with other brands.
Right.
It's like this thing, I don't know. Like, anyway, we were just,
you were being pretty blunt with your opinion. You weren't holding back.
Yeah. And so to me though, I always try to stand by, like, even when I do that, you got to stand by, like, it's not like refreshing, but being honest, encountering honesty is like rarer than people just like, to me, like not being honest is just lying. So like, if you don't tell someone your honest feedback because you're afraid of like how they might receive it, just like saying that you think it's good is lying.
Now, do you always want honesty?
Depends. I think it just depends on like the way that you deliver it. So
no,
like,
I just mean like, let's say I go to your gym. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not in the business.
Oh, I absolutely want your feedback. You're the person whose feedback I want the most. I don't want anyone who's in the business's feedback. Okay. The audience that the audience to tap.
The normal person.
The audience to tap is the person who's not used to rock
But
climbing.
realistically, I'm not even like, I just came to the thing and I showed up and I just was testing it out. Like realistically, do you want it, or is it like, no, just come, say what's up,
No,
have
I
a
want
beer,
it.
say I love the place, and then leave? Or do you really want me to like come in and go, I don't like this, and then leave and never come back?
I want it because it either invalidates the voices in my head of what I think it needs to be, or you validate them. Of here are the changes I've been thinking about making. I can either just like be like, oh no, like that's none of that needs to happen, or it's like, no, other people are noticing what I'm noticing too. Therefore, like that needs to be fixed. That's not just in my head.
Got it.
I really want that. If everyone's just like, yeah, everything's perfect, and when you're like, no, like I don't think it is. I think there's like lots of areas I could improve.
Right.
I want to hear about that stuff. And that's where it's like,
Okay, let's make it a little less specific.
think about music, dude.
No, I understand, but let me make it a little specific, a little less specific to you trying to like change your business. Let's say you get a new house, you invite me over, and you go, "What do you think about the place?" And I honestly think it's hideous. Like I don't like the way it's laid out. I don't like the way you guys decorated it. I think it's ugly. It's weird. Like it's hideous. I would never buy that house. Right? That's my thought. Should I say, "Oh, beautiful, man, congrats," or should I go, I mean, personally, I think this is, I mean, right? Like that's what I'm getting at. Is like sometimes there is a place to like not be honest.
That is when
you're gonna sell the house because I thought it was trash.
if your friend is very proud, like if you came in and I was so proud of what I did,
Yeah, and I was just like,
and I'm showing it off to you,
right.
totally different. If I'm like, hey, what do you think about this?
This house I just spent my life savings on.
If you were like, if you came up to me and you were like, yeah, like this is the new house, and you pulled me aside and you were like, what do you think about the house? I'd be like, what'd you pay for it? I'd be like,
My
are
life
you going to
savings.
leave it?
I have nothing left.
I'd be
It's
like,
literally, I have
leave
$10
it?
left.
I'd be like, are you going to leave it as it is? I mean, like, dude, because me and you would be thinking about the house. You wouldn't give a fuck about what your house looks like. You'd be like, what's the appreciation history in this neighborhood?
Oh, right.
What is this like?
Right,
you know,
sure,
did
sure,
I
sure.
just fuck up buying this house? Like, what do you think's
Sure.
going to happen here?
Well, let's say that's a good.
That's like the, like,
so
let's get on
say
these
I bought it
conversations,
over
you know?
over market,
Over
over
market.
asking, and it's the nicest house on the block, and it's not going to sell. And I was
it's
like, and
not the nicest house on the
No, it
block.
is the nicest house on the block,
It is, but it's
'cause
not going to
that's
sell
bad.
because you so overpaid for
yeah.
it.
And I was like, what do you think? Do you lie to me, or do you tell me the truth? I don't mean lie to me as in like tell me falsities about the situation, but you go, oh, dude, this is sick, man, congrats. Or do you go, hey, man, I really think you screwed up here.
I think I just,
You go, how's the hot dogs coming?
yeah, point out what you like. I don't know. That's a very specific scenario, Evan, of just like,
Well, because I'm trying to get you to like, I'm trying to boil you down. Like,
I know
how
what you're,
honest
no,
are you?
like the thing is more so, I mean, there's white lies you can tell your friends.
Right.
Of course. But I mean, just, you know.
Well, that's you know, okay. So actually, that's a really good example. That's where I've gotten with relationships, friends and relationships. Like I've had quite a few friends at this point that have gotten into relationships that I'm not a huge fan of over the years, over my whole life. Right. There's definitely been like really close friends of mine or people that I really consider, you know, close that have started dating people where it's like, this is not my ideal scenario and I don't see it for him and whatever it is, right? And the very few times I've ever like chimed in and been like, just to be honest with you, this does not seem good. Our relationship dwindled to nothing almost. Because I truly, so at this point, I'm just like, beautiful. Because I'm like, I can't change your mind. So therefore, my honesty is meaningless. If anything, it'll just destroy our relationship. So it's like a weird balance with that kind of stuff, you know, like honesty about your opinion about something that's really personal to people. It's like, unless you're like a consultant hired, I'm like, dude, just say it looks great and walk away.
My favorite is when you're asking, like, someone's asking you for relationship advice, but they're only describing the person in the relationship. You've never met them.
Right.
You've just like seen a picture of them. And then they're like, yeah, so like, this is what they're like. And then you're just giving them advice based on that shit, but they don't take it. It's like scenarios when your friends ask you about what you would do in a scenario that they were in, but you weren't. And you're like, man, like, I can't imagine that. Like, that person's crazy. You know, like you get to use these big extreme words. because it's just about the emotional
Sure.
experience.
Right. It's not about like the actual thing. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like most people aren't actually looking for feedback.
Never.
It's usually just tell me everything's going to be fine.
People are almost never looking for feedback.
Right.
I also work in we both work in a world where you have to have feedback.
It's constant feedback.
Yeah, because if you don't get good feedback, it pisses you off.
Do you think that we're talking about business and opinions and all these things. Do you from you probably only could see this from Ruth. Like, are you getting a vibe from like what Ruth is going to be like, and if she's going to be like really chill or really like opinionated, or do you feel like she'll be kind of like just floating, or have you gotten a vibe yet, or are you not quite there with her?
I'm getting a vibe.
What vibe are you getting?
Ruth wants everyone to have a good time.
Okay. What does that mean? Like she kind of sets you up with toys and she kind of wants you to be...
She wants everyone to be happy, but she wants everyone to be happy with what she wants to do.
Of course, yeah.
And if you don't want to do what she wants to do, she really doesn't give a shit.
Got it.
But she would prefer that you enjoyed yourself.
It might just be a kid thing, but yeah.
It might be. I mean, like with Frank, with any of us, it's just like, this is why can't we just, I don't understand. Like, this is it's fine if I just go over here and do my thing.
No, but I want you to play with this doll. Yeah. I hear you.
She might just be too, I think the things that are coming out for her right now are more so like, she really cares about what everyone thinks.
Interesting. In what way? Like, how does that facilitate? How does it make it
I
so
think
fun?
in terms of like what is right, what is wrong, how you're supposed to do something.
Oh.
She seems to be like pretty concerned about that, like getting it right. Whereas and pleasing you because she's got it right.
Oh.
And Frank could literally care
less.
Oh my God, dude. Frank is almost like Frank knows everything that you want him to do, and he just won't do a single thing of it. He's just cute as shit and knows it. So he just does literally whatever he wants unapologetically. Ruth really wants to make you happy.
Yeah.
But she will also, like, when it comes to toys and playing with stuff, she will just do whatever it is she wants to do. You know?
Big sister vibes.
Yeah. But like Ember's energy, like when I was in the house, was like, that's not not the vibe I get
Ember
from
is
my
just
kids.
this.
No.
Ember is just party all the time, fun all the time. As long as you're into having fun, it's all good. We could do anything. I'll just be sitting at the table, and I'll go, Ember, and she'll just be like, and she'll just start dancing, like, so yeah, like all I gotta go is just like, we got a party now, and I'll just start doing that, and she'll just literally just be like, so it's like party, like it's literally party all the time. So it's like, as long as you're just down to party, it doesn't matter what we're doing. It's just party time, baby.
Ruth is princess. Like, princesses wear fancy dresses and listen to fancy music. Princesses have tea parties, and this is my tea set, Frankie. You can't touch it. You're not allowed to have tea with us, Frankie. All the babies need to be put to bed. They need to be put under blankets and have their stories read to them. She's like and this is how it's done. Do not come in this room with your voice raised. The babies are sleeping and the lights are off. You're not allowed to go in there. But she's like dead serious about it.
This is no joke.
She's playing and it's imaginative, but it's not like,
it's real life to her.
It's totally different kind of energy.
It's not silly. It's real.
Mm-hmm. But she's like, she'll have high energy when she's like chase me around the house. But like the idea of ballet to Ruth, to be in a room full of other little girls who have their hair done up and makeup on, and they're all wearing those pink dresses and the special dance shoes.
That's the pinnacle.
That sounds like heaven. Yeah, she's like really like, horse riding is about how beautiful the horse is, and the lady's hat and her boots.
So she's very particular, very put together.
It's about what's beautiful.
Right. Beautiful.
It's about what's beautiful.
Dude, that's so funny. She's literally just party time all the time. Like she'll come home and be like, today was a nightmare. And I'll be like, what? She's like, everyone wanted to hang out with me. Every boy has a crush on me. It's a nightmare. Like it's hard. She's like, yeah, I had like 5 friends that wanted me to play with them. And I said, I could only play with 2 of you right now. And so the other 2 were crying half the day. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do because like this person says they want me to be a part of their club, but I can't. So like, yeah. It's just like, it's literally like her problems at school are the fact that like she has to say no to kids, certain groups, because like they're trying to get her to also hang. And I'll walk up and I'll see it. They'll like be 3 girls like, Ember over here, Ember over here, over here. And she's just like, I can't. This is so stressful.
Guys.
She's too popular. How funny is that? Yeah, dude, it's hilarious. It's so funny because it's just like good times only, baby.
Good times only.
Good times only. Yeah, like today there was a friend of hers that was like really struggling because Ember's like, yeah, it was a hard day because I didn't want to do this thing anymore. We do it every single day, and my friend just makes me do it. And then if I don't do it, she starts crying. So like it stresses me out because I don't want to make her cry, but also I'm like, I'm tired of doing this thing. And that's like her struggle. You know what I mean? It's just so funny, man. It's like, I mean, I'm just waiting for like 15. Like, what is that going to look like for Ember? Because it's just going to be like,
I don't want to be around for that. I'm just like, ship them off, dude.
Ship them off.
I don't want to isolate them.
Like, remove them from the modern world and tell them it doesn't exist and it was wiped out.
Farmstead, yeah, raise them underground.
Yeah, just be like, honestly, it was bad and the whole world came to an end. So we're down here now. Speaking of explosions, you want to get into this episode? 1 episode this week.
Yes, which was nice to honestly just have 1 episode to marinate.
But we're also spoiled from the fact that like usually there's 2 full episodes of content to pull from.
That's true.
Which is like, you know, you can just really pick the highlights. Okay. Thoughts on this episode?
Dude, Kate. Okay, so first off, Kate, just good TV.
Great TV.
Kate is very good TV.
She had some. She was kind of Aaron like in that she had some great lines. Like she had some really like memorable lines. Like hey, he can't even afford Equinox.
Dude, that line,
like that's a reality TV line right there.
Just that he can't afford Equinox, but also just the way that she toys with these guys. I love it. The way that I loved how she was talking about herself to Shanae when she was like, I'm a personal trainer.
No. She said, Logan can't afford Equinox. I have a personal trainer. Basically, like, I'm so far above him. He can't even afford a gym. I have my own personal trainer. Like, yeah. I'm so leagues above him financially.
I thought I misunderstood that.
No.
That shit is so funny to me.
Yeah, she's just like, he's not even in my bracket.
I love that she was saying, though, that she's like, call me old fashioned, but like, I want a man with provider energy.
Yeah.
Was like, yeah, dude. She's basically like, she's like, I'm a hot commodity and like, right. I want, I basically want a man who's going to provide.
Because she was saying stuff like, Hayden has money and we love that.
Yes, dude, that shit was. She's like,
she was on the date with Hayden and she was literally like, ew.
She's like,
but he is rich.
Yeah, she's like, I'm hot. I'm like independent. I'm successful in my own right. And like, if I'm going to have a man, he's going to be like hot and rich.
Right.
Because I can choose that for myself.
Right.
That's like what she's like got mapped out. And once I was like, yeah, do your thing, dude.
There wasn't a whole lot of talk about like personality traits
Zero.
that was interesting. Like, do you think
Zero.
she didn't say one thing
What
that was
did you
like, but I
think
do love the
about-
fact that he's got a good heart and he's got a good like morality. It was just
What
literally
about her
like
whole-
he's rich, but he's cuter. Like,
What was her saying? My sister in God,
and my sister in Christ,
my sister in Christ, I kid you not.
or whatever it was.
And they did the thing of her saying it
Yeah,
to like all
5
the
times,
people,
yeah.
and it was all the same like tone too. My sister in Christ,
Perfectly matched.
so funny. Logan too. I have to give Logan props for finally wisening up to that when she like made him say that he's got these feelings for her, and he's like, "What about you?" Like, I just said what I'm saying. What about you? And she's like, "That's nice."
Well,
And he's like, "What the fuck, dude?"
well, for me, it was like, it was equally awkward because she goes, well, hey, this date thing came up and I was really hoping, he got back from the date and he's like, so how was it for you? He's like so mellow. Like he's literally like half asleep. And she goes, how was it for you? And he's like, well, no, he says, how was it for you? And she's like, well, it was good. I'll be honest with you though. I felt frustrated that you didn't kind of like tell me not to go and then fight for me to stay. And he goes, well, I just was trying to be like cool, but I don't want you to go. I didn't want you to go. And she's like, okay, well, thanks for saying that. And he goes, now that you made me say that, what about you? Like he did. He just admitted to not feeling that way. And then he just said it to make her happy. And then he immediately just goes, what about you? Are you also sorry?
She made him talk about his feelings, and now he's like, so what?
But he's like, those aren't even my feelings. I just said it. Oh, fine. I didn't want you to go. Now, okay. Now that you made me say that, did you want to go?
I love that.
It's like if someone beats you down so that you apologize and then you go, fine, sorry. And are you sorry now?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what? Oh, dude. Logan just has this vibe. Like he's just kind of half asleep all the time.
All the time.
He's just kind of barely there. He used to be so much more like lively, but he's just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
The sun's got him down. He's not in a good spot.
I just thought they had like legendary lines. Like when he went and when he got the rose from her and she goes, Logan, do you accept this rose? But I need a lot more from you. And he just pauses for a second. He goes,
Okay.
Okay. And then in the ITM, he goes, I have no idea what she's talking about. And not only do I have no idea what she's talking about, I thought when you give someone a rose, you should tell the things you like about them. Dude, she literally, they're just like, what am I going to
love it.
And then when she threw the ball,
Literally
Hayden?
making Hayden go.
fetch, like his dog.
Yes.
Like, oh, I know you have a dog too. Me too. Fetch, boy. And then he fetched. I mean, it's a masterclass. It's incredible.
Loved it.
I've never seen anything like it.
Loving it.
I've never seen anything like it.
It's so wonderful.
Okay, broads, one more quick pause. So I don't typically label kitchen products a must-have because I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not that great at cooking. It wasn't ever really my thing, okay? But I actually think I might have been wrong about that. I think I may have been cooking in the wrong pots and pans, which it made my food stick or it would burn or it would taste funny. So it would always be a borderline disaster. I'd get so frustrated. But I told you all, I got Caraway cookware recently, and I have to say, not only are they a must-have, but I think they've kind of made me a better cook. At least I'm pretty sure they have. It's been so much smoother in the kitchen. Thank you so much.
Caraway is the best out there.
So good.
Okay, the naturally slick surface makes for very easy cleanup, and there's no sticking. You don't even I usually use a ton of oil and butter anyway, but you don't have to with Caraway. It's also non-toxic. Most non-stick pans are made with toxic materials, but not Caraway. They have created cookware that is totally non-stick and completely chemical-free at the same time, and also beautiful.
So gorgeous. I mean, I would recommend you get, the whole lot of everything and just overhaul all your pots and pans if you want to be serious about it. But obviously, sometimes these things take time. Totally understandable. So Caraway has 2 convenient sets made up for you to choose from, either the cookware set or the bakeware set. Plus, each one comes equipped with easy access storage solutions, okay? So you don't have to stack anything or worry about misplacing any of your lids, which is truly the worst, especially when you're in the middle of cooking something already. It's seriously amazing. I love them so much.
Visit carawayhome.com to take advantage of their Cyber Season event and score up to 20% off on your next purchase of non-toxic kitchenware. The deal is not going to last long. This is the time to buy. So visit carawayhome.com. Shop all their incredible products for up to 20% off this holiday season.
Who'd she start out with? Who's the first guy she hooked up with?
Jacob.
It's Jacob.
And then Logan.
And then Logan.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, well, then Hayden was kind of the...
And now Hayden.
Yeah. Well, no, but she's not with Hayden. She chose Logan at the rose ceremony, so Hayden...
Yeah.
But it was just like... Just her scenario of just like... I don't really... You could tell she's like, I don't like Hayden at all. I have no chemistry with him, and I find him slightly repulsive.
But he's rich.
But he's got money, and that is something we love.
And dude...
She's talking about it like it's all commodities. Like, I do love diamonds, but gold's pretty great too.
But the way that she was like saying it to the women too, when she was like, well, like he's gonna go home tonight, but like for anyone like who's paying attention, like he did say he has a string of like vacation rentals and he has 6 figures lying around to spend on his dog.
Yeah.
She was like talking about it like that, where she's like, yes, like I would be strongly considering Hayden.
Yeah. Like nothing about chemistry, love, connection,
no
partnership.
She's like,
literally
you know what she's like is the stepmom in a movie who gets like married to the sweet dad, who like comes in and she's like, there's like a 12-year-old daughter and she's like, ew, like basically like, how do we get rid of the daughter?
Yeah.
You know,
this
like,
is annoying.
Yeah.
No,
or
it's
like,
fascinating.
oh, he loves this dog. Like we need to like get this, like we need to put the dog up for adoption.
Well, it's just fascinating. She's very, not a lot of like emotion going on with the whole process.
Dude, the ball thing is just... I was freaking out as he got up to go get the ball. Logan watched that.
Yeah, like he's watched the ball go down. He's like,
he watched her throw the ball for Hayden and Hayden go get it. And so did everybody else. And that's the beauty of it all. Is she's not just doing it for us. She did it on the beach so everyone could see her tossing the ball for Hayden and Hayden going and fetching it for her.
Yeah. It's fascinating. It's almost like Kate to me is one of the few contestants where I'm just observing it. I just feel like I'm just observing her, and it's like I almost like I don't even know how to feel about her. I'm just observing
Kate
it.
To be the Bachelorette.
Oh God,
that would make me so happy.
She just leaves with 5 of them. She's
oh
like,
my God!
With 5, we can get to one good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like we combine all their skills.
Exactly, like the Power Rangers.
Right. We'll get one like money guy, one super good looking model guy, one good father.
Maybe another money guy.
A romance guy. And we'll just kind of combine them all. We'll have a super husband.
So good.
But it is funny that she's with Logan, who's 7 years younger. And she's like, he has roommates.
Dude, what about oh God. What about like, what's her face's dating advice to her?
Shanae. Yeah, she's talking to Shanae about how she should date Shanae's ex, who the ex left for. I mean, it is so convoluted.
What about Jacob and Logan's conversation where they had like obviously the most producer based, like you guys go talk to each other.
Right.
Conversation about how Kate is the only girl that Logan's felt anything for this whole time, and he's talking to Jacob about it.
Yeah, so it was like yeah, you're right. They were both talking to the exes were talking to each other.
Who is like, I feel so much more for Kate than I have felt for Jill this entire time. And then Kate dropped his ass in a second for Logan, and now he's sitting there listening to Logan talk about.
And Logan dropped Shanae in a second for Kate.
And how head over heels he is for Kate.
So they were both talking to the people that they stole them from.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, she is.
It's pretty tight.
Well, she's very powerful. I will say that. Like, from the vibe I get through the
very
screen,
assertive.
I go powerful. Like, she goes to a cocktail party for like a work event. You know, she just works it. Like, she talks to all the right people, gets everyone to like her. The lunches are booked. the meetings are handled. You know what I mean? Like she could be like a politician. You could tell she could dominate that. Like very talented at like drawing people in. Fascinating. Okay, then we got the Genevieve and Aaron convo, which was pretty hilarious.
So good. He said it was an accident, but I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
It was just such a young, teasy vibe to be like, got some bad news. We won the lottery. Like that was the move. You know what I mean?
And he's like, yeah. I mean, at first I was literally like,
I couldn't believe it.
I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yesterday when I said, that.
Well, he started with, this is kind of hard to talk about.
It's kind of hard to talk about.
Like, oh,
yesterday
shit.
when I said I was falling in love with you, that's not true. Like, not at all. And he just paused. And he's like, I've been in love with you. And you're just like, oh my God, like Aaron. Like I was about to be like, I can't take it. I can't take.
Well, you saw her.
More people.
She almost said something. Like she was panicking
Mm-hmm.
because he goes, "This is really hard to talk about. I'll be honest with you, and it's been a really hard couple days." And yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, and she goes, "Well,"
and the way he looked at
she
her,
was literally like, I'm gonna have an anxiety attack right now." And then all of a sudden he drops the bomb on her, right? But I did have a moment where I go, what if she would have interrupted and gone off on him? Are you fucking serious? And before he was able to get the joke out. And then they blew up and they broke up. like she sabotaged the joke.
That's when they would flip around on him and he'd be like, I literally came here to say that I love you.
It was a joke, but then now you're making me think maybe I don't.
And then she'd be like, oh my God.
Right.
And they're just so stupid for each other. It would totally resolve itself just like it did like 3 days earlier.
But then he'd put her in the doghouse because he'd be like, honestly, this showed me a lot, and I'm rethinking what I was gonna say because you went off the handle on me.
I just need to go get like at least one Cifico with Johnny right now.
In the jungle path.
In the jungle path.
Remember that? He's like, when you were on the jungle path.
When we declared our love for each other, when I said that I was falling in love with you in the jungle path.
Jungle path.
Like trying to recall these details. I love that. And
then he's like, I didn't mean to like sound like that. I was just like telling you how I felt. It's like so ridiculous, dude.
Like bullshit, dude. You know exactly how to get the edit.
You were saying this earlier and brought up a good point, which is like if you do those little quirky kind of things in conversations, like it does make the cut because it creates a little moment.
It's suspenseful,
right?
Dude, he had everyone on the edge of their seat. His ass like, oh, I wasn't aware that's how it sounded. Like bullshit.
I couldn't believe I was like, there's no way he's doing this right now.
Breaking up with her. Yeah, I was like,
or just putting them on pause or telling her that he needs a break
I was
or
just
something.
like, dude, what? So like now these guys are just gonna go home? That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, so dude, more people are just gonna walk off the beach? Does no one give a fuck about the rose ceremonies anymore?
Right. People just leaving. Kate plays that game. She goes, I'm staying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get there.
Shanae will play that game.
Oh yeah. Shanae just picks a twin and just wrap it up.
So sick. Are you kidding me?
They don't care about the like the vibe is like maybe they do care about the twins. It's possible. But they do feel it does feel like they're like, well, we just gotta hang on for a while. No, we have a back rows. I mean, it's possible, right? Maybe they
are they still together? Shanae and the twins?
Shanae and the twin.
The twins.
And then the other one is the one who was on Australia. What's her name?
They gave roses to both twins.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. And it makes sense for now, right? You're feeling it out. You're chilling. You're dating. It's no problem.
What else are you going to do?
Exactly. Might as well just see what happens and wait for some other guy to come down
if
you're not into it.
Yeah. And
they're also like 23
they're fun.
or something, and they're fun and they're chill. They're having fun together. It's all fun and games.
Exactly.
So then we got the Eliza, Rodney, Justin debacle.
Dude. I mean, I feel bad for her and Rodney. I don't really feel that bad for Justin.
Well, she shows up on Justin's door.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Can't feel bad
I
for
get
him.
that.
You mean just the moment
But even
of
in the
initial...
moment, yeah, even in the moment of it all, because I think that's a shitty situation to be in the first place. But I also am like, I mean, what's your thought? What's your thought on the whole thing I run off?
Let's work backwards.
Okay.
What would you do if you were in that situation? Not Eliza, Rodney. So let me explain what I'm saying and trying to develop the emotion here. You are really into this girl. You guys had 2 weeks or a week together straight, really bonding. Other guy comes down, kind of a guy she was waiting for. They really hit it off big time. You guys kind of get into it a little bit. It's a contentious situation. You fight for her. But you really see her warring. Like, it's not clear who she really likes. She's like very much warring. And then she chooses you and she's bawling her eyes out. But you think it's just like, how do you feel about the whole situation? Are you able to kind of recover from that? Or are you kind of like, no, if you're not way more clear on this, I'm not down? Or are you like, no, like I understand how this can happen. I've been there where like I've been really torn between a couple people. You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel with Rod? How do you feel like how do you relate to Rodney before she breaks the news that she's going back to Justin?
I relate to Rodney on the like, there's I think there was just like the competitive side.
Sure.
And then when she said like, I choose you, basically, it was like, yes,
right.
It's over now. Like, I think that's like where
seeing that it's not, you know what I mean? Seeing her still crying, seeing her kind of, but like seeing that energy.
That was what was like weird to watch, was like, it made you wonder like, how in tune is he with like anything she's saying to him?
And which might be part of the problem.
Because it seemed like he was missing like the whole point.
Like he's not really like seeing her, or else he would have picked up that like Justin's got more pull in this situation.
No, and everyone else also. I don't think anyone was seeing her, which is what I think the big issue was. Was everyone else was just talking about like how great they think Rodney is and why, like all the reasons why she should be with him, and no one was listening her to just be like, yeah, like he is really good, but it just doesn't make me feel like this extra way. And it's like, I don't care that you guys think that that's like, I mean, this goes into the stuff we were talking about, like trying to give your friends advice.
Right.
Was she like tried to take everyone's advice and be like, okay, like this is what's apparently good for me. Then
right.
she was like, but I don't.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because I felt the same way in regards to no one was saying, oh my God, Rodney and Eliza have amazing chemistry. Everyone was saying, we love Rodney and we love them together. Mm-hmm. But it was more of like because we love Rodney, we love that he's happy. Therefore, because it was always she should pick Rodney, not pick Justin, versus like they look good together. They seem great together, you know? So Justin was just probably more like they had a more of an emotional connection. They had a much more playful connection too. When you'd see them on screen, they were laughing together, teasing each other, like kind of young together.
That's the thing. It was like the moment he came on. Dude, this knife is so funny, by the way.
Someone gave that to me. Isn't that funny? It has my name on it.
The moment he came on, it was like, that's chemistry.
Yeah.
That's vibes. That's the fireworks.
Right.
It's clear to everybody.
It's very obvious they have the chemistry. Now, people don't like Justin. I get it. But at the same time, it's like undeniable.
Why don't people like Justin?
Because of the whole thing that happened with him and Genevieve. And I'm sure Genevieve has been like spreading the like, this guy's the bad guy kind of thing for a long time. So I get that. And Rodney's so nice that like you can't not like Rodney.
I thought Brandon said something good where he was like, doesn't realize that she's not Justin's first pick.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't think she even realizes that because she's never been not the first pick.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Wait, Justin said this?
Brandon was saying
that she's kind of like always the first pick.
Yeah.
And so she's used to being the kind of
it
like...
It would never even dawn on her that like he's not there for her from the outset.
Oh.
He was there for a couple other women over her.
Right.
And he's
but like... It made her feel special when he came specially for her too.
Yeah,
so she felt like special. And
But this is where also like people aren't seeing her and her experience and her side of things because everyone's just sort of like, Rodney's been here.
Right.
he came explicitly for you, that should mean more to you.
Yeah.
You should be picking him based
And we
on
love
like
him.
this
We don't want him to
criteria.
leave and all that stuff.
Yeah, we love him.
It was rough. I felt really bad for the guy because he was like, he did fight for her, and then she just blindsided him, and then he had to leave. I thought, you should stay, dude. Like, they're gonna, like, you're already locked in. They're going to bring more women down 100%. I mean, and at this point you were like, is anyone single left? You know what I mean? It's like literally you are set up to meet someone.
Yeah.
But he must have been, because he was saying like, this could be my wife. So he must have been so locked in where he's just too emotionally damaged to be like, I won't open up to anybody else. I'm too messed up. But he really was in the prime position to meet someone by being recently broken up with, single, and the whole beach is spoken for almost at this point. But, you know.
Do you think Michael should just go home?
Yeah, it's
Michael
a boring
and his
storyline at this
girlfriend?
point. Like, I just like, you guys are all married.
Him and Wells, their fucking date with Wells.
It was just such a gimmicky waste of time. They didn't even do it. Nothing developed. There was no character development. There was no like, oh, now they're like, we ever actually see a new side. It was just a gimmicky thing. Yeah, I just thought, oh man.
I did think it was funny that Logan's like, what I need is a date at this point.
Right.
What I really need is this. And like, and we got a date card and we're going to give it to Michael. And I was like,
again,
fuck.
this guy said like 7 of them.
So annoying that they keep, I mean, I think it's hilarious that they keep fucking with everyone like that.
Yeah. They keep giving like the rock solid couples. But it's funny because Brandon's only had like 1 date, right? And it's like, dude, they're like the most rock solid couple ever.
This has been...
They've given Michael has gotten so much love this season.
Michael,
they kept him from being
Shanae.
cut. They gave him everything. It's crazy.
I don't get it.
They're giving him everything.
What else happened in this one? I feel like a lot of things happened, but they're all just sort of
Well,
like...
it was like 3 main things that happened, but there wasn't a lot like after that, like and then she, you know, it kind of ends with her going to see Justin wherever he was. I don't remember where he lives, like Chicago maybe or something like that. Going to see him, and he's like, what? Okay, what would you do if that happened to you if you're Justin? And she shows up and goes, I made a mistake. Because it's kind of in some ways the same thing for both guys, where one guy goes, you picked me, but it feels like you didn't. And then the other guy goes, you picked me at the end, but wait, how could it be that close to where you pick him and then like a day later you realize you made a mistake and then you come to me? If you're that toss up, right? If you're that wish-washy, if you're that undecided, like, how do you know? How can I know that even in 2 weeks you're not going to?
Dude, my favorite Bachelor couple of all time, Ari and Lauren.
The flip-flop.
That's what Ari did.
Okay, so maybe there is a real
She
thing there.
accepted him, and now look at how goo goo gaga happy they are for each other.
Kids and the whole thing.
Lots of kids.
Really?
Yeah.
How many kids?
I think like 3, and they're just like stupid in love.
It can work, clearly.
She was the second choice.
Right.
She got the I made a mistake speech.
So maybe that is a stronger
She
love
saw
in a way.
it through. In a certain way, depending on the guy, I think there's a lot there because they'll always feel like they've got to make that up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I get that. Because you're like, I don't want to make the same mistake again.
I want to make her feel known and special and secure and like all this. So he's always going to be like compensating for that.
Right. But I wonder if with the Justin thing, he's like, I put the work in, I showed up for you, I did all this, and then you ditched me and now you're back. And it might be like, wait a second.
It
So
might
it'll be interesting.
It might be. His personality
That's more what I'm
has
saying.
some boundaries.
Like, was the ego hurt enough to where he's like, I don't think
I don't
I'm
know.
down for this.
I don't know.
Right? It'll be interesting. Ooh.
It'll be a good one.
Yeah, and then we got some new ladies cruising in, which will be nice.
It will be nice, dude. I have to say, it's very nice with the change of pace when they bring in new people.
Yeah.
But I do find it odd this late in the game to be bringing in new people. But they kind of have to, I guess, like half the fucking cast walked off.
I watch Love Island, and they always do this. Kind of a Hail Mary. Bring in like the second to last week. They'll just be like, here's a couple bombshells.
And
like
those
an
are
amazing guy, an amazing girl, just to like see if anyone's kind of like might just throw
and
it
those are the
all.
people who are going to get engaged.
Right. So it's like they always kind of throw in a last minute. And so a lot of times it doesn't work. They get sent home, but every once in a while, someone just ditches the whole game for them.
So tight.
We see Andrew sweating, crying. So, and he seems like he goes on a date with one of them. So we always love a good last minute, just explosion. Just
I wonder who
everything
it
goes
is
out
that's
the
going to
window.
fuck Andrew up.
I don't know.
Be respectful.
Be respectful. Gosh, I hope they get married and have 20 kids.
And they can talk about remember when I confessed my love to you in the jungle path?
And they should call their kid Jungle Path.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing would make me happier, honestly.
Jungle path.
JP.
Hey, JP.
His name's JP, but they
This is
named
my
him
boy
after Jungle
JP.
Path.
This is my boy JP. Don't drop in on him. Be respectful.
If he was like, oh, by the way, remember when he opened up champagne? I said it was the first time he ever opened up a champagne bottle. I was like, what? How are you a party boy? And this is the first
So
time.
confusing.
Never been at the club and like what?
So confusing.
That blew me away. He's like 28 years old and he had never, or 26 or something. I don't know what he is, but he's
in
old enough
San
to have
Diego.
old enough to have opened up a bottle of champagne. Blew me away. Wow. Just a little side piece. When he said that, I was like, what? But honestly, the thing walking away from the show that would make me the happiest is Genevieve and Aaron get married, have 5 kids together, and just are just them all the way, and they live happily ever after. That would actually make me very happy.
That would be fun.
I love their relationship.
I do too. Love it.
Anything else?
Not that's coming to mind.
That's coming to mind.
Just Hayden chasing that tennis ball.
That was epic.
So good.
Yeah, he just
Such a chef's kiss moment.
such a chef's kiss moment. Dude, I took Ember on a little date tonight.
Where
While
to?
we were recording. We have this little Mexican place down the street from our house.
Uh-huh.
And after school, every once in a while, I take her on these little date nights. You're just getting into those. How old's Ruth now?
3.5.
Yeah, like one more year. And that's like when you really start getting that sweet spot where she's just sitting and this kind of, you guys are talking and eating. And we're like in the middle of that right now. Ember's almost 7 now. So we'll just sit and talk and eat. And Ember will do like a cartwheel in between bites and then come back to the table and eat, and we'll just chat for a while. But it's like, it's really special. Like this is the stuff that I thought about when I wanted kids one day. I was like, I can't wait for daddy-daughter dates and those type of things. And it's like, it's happening now.
I'm about to build out the truck a little bit so that me and Ruth can sleep in the bed together and go on camping trips.
Dude,
and
I want to
climbing
camp
trips.
with Ember. You got to give me some, because I know you're kind of more like a camping king. You got to give me some like spots and advice because I really want to take her somewhere.
We'll definitely do that.
I got to get some like info from you because I used to camp as a kid, but like I haven't been in years. So I need to get like, go over here. It's a good entry spot to do it. Because that sounds amazing. How big, you're going to build out the truck and build out like a back bed thing. And
Yes. She's so excited.
dude, that's going to be a blast.
Right? Like how epic.
Oh, looking at the stars at night, making fires, hot cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. I want to do it.
Right?
I'm so excited. That's like a thing I have for 2023. Like I want to be camping a couple times a year with her. Gosh, we get to be dads,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm really excited about like the next couple of years because I feel like we can really create memories. You know what I mean? Like now that she's really independent too, she's getting to that age where she's kind of like, all right, I can help, I can do stuff. And
She's about to start getting into sports.
oh yeah, where we've already been looking at all the gymnastics classes again, and
You're going to be the team dad.
I don't know. I think it'll be more individual. She's more of an individual. Like
Yeah, but
I see
you're
her
not
doing
gonna
the singing. I see her doing the gymnastics. I don't see her doing like the soccer. She's not a big like, let's pass the ball around. She's like, I kind of just want to perform. And gymnastics is a version of just like theater, basically. It's like acrobatic theater. We'll see. But yeah, it's going to be This year's, I feel like she's really starting to come into like I'm ready to like blossom into my phoenix.
That's her energy.
Your age is fun because it's like Disneyland. It's so fun because she's at the pinnacle of like fantasy. Like 3, 4 is like when Ember was just like, oh my God, there's the princess. You know, oh my, everything is believed immediately. Santa Claus is mind blowing. Like everything is just mind blowing.
What was interesting was we were playing the other night. I was pretending to run away with Frank's treasure box, and he was getting really upset about it. And he was kind of having fun. He was kind of not having fun. Ruth was having a ton of fun, having to kill me, the treasure monster,
right,
to get their treasure back. And Frank was being like, it's scary, you know? And then Becca's like, okay, you need to stop. And me and Ruth stopped like mid-fight, and we're like, Frank, like, it's okay. Like, I'm not actually a treasure monster. And he was like so worried. And me and Ruth were like, it's just pretend, Frank. And Ruth is like, yeah, it's just pretend. Like, Daddy's not a monster. Like, we're just pretending to have fun. She's like 3.5. And it was like, we were so in it, like so in the moment, just like being chaotic together. Didn't realize we were scaring Frank. And then like, she was just with me of like, yeah, it's just pretend.
Yeah, she's trying to help him. Like, hey, buddy, it's okay.
Like, we don't actually have superpowers. Like, we're not going to kill Dad.
Right.
You know?
That's cute.
It was really sweet. But then I was also like, dude, like how much is going on up there? That she's
way
like
more than you know.
Like, she probably already realizes like none of the Disneyland shit's real.
I don't know. Maybe. But she's probably just,
there's exceptions. That's the other thing.
I
There's
also
like
think
these
they
weird
choose to believe. Like they don't want to not believe, you know? So they're kind of like really pushing themselves into like, I believe, you know, this is amazing. This is amazing. But I'm sure like if they were to dig super deep, they'd be real. Maybe it's not real, you know? Although Ember is just like, I'm a wizard, you know, it's just like, that's not a question. Like she is a wizard. She has the wand. She got, you know, the wand at the spot in Universal Studios. Like it's a done deal.
Well, her doing math to me where she's like, let me show you some math. What's 8 minus 2? 6.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, it is. And she's like, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Literally like staring me down.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really know what to do.
She's good at math. Like she kind of gets it. Like we're working on the writing.
But it was the ultimate example of like
I'm
let me
so
prove
confident.
it to you right now by like, just like,
I'll blow your mind.
Let me ask you this question. What's 3 times 3? 9.
It's just like, you probably didn't know that. Yeah. Like just bask in my glory, baby.
See how easy that was for me?
We need some of that in our lives. Just like confidence and just self-love through the roof.
Well, that was like, I mean, but then I'm over here sitting like thinking of this comedian who's like, okay, you graduated like the first grade. Like that's not even special. Like everybody.
That's your problem. We've lost.
Literally, we've all been there. We all did it.
But she's enjoying the journey. That's the thing that I'm like lit up about. That's like I use her as a personal example all the time for like remembering like she is enjoying the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's not about that she's killing it in first grade. It's just that she's having a blast, baby. And it's just like, isn't what I'm doing awesome? Like I'm not even concerned with the fact that you might not think it's awesome.
Yes.
I'm too busy thinking it is awesome. And it's like, dang,
it's high power.
That mentality is amazing.
It's high power
it's
energy.
So much fun power. She's not even processing about the fact that you might not think it's cool.
No.
She's just like, I think it's cool, so therefore you gotta think it's cool.
That's high power energy right there. It's high octane.
I want it juiced into my system, into my neck.
Just like 2 skull spikes.
Oh, well, we're, you know, I can't wait for new people. I can't wait to see what I can't wait to see what Justin does. I'm hoping he doesn't just say right away. I hope there's a little bit of a back and forth.
This was like
tension.
This was a classic plot building episode.
Yes.
Like this wasn't the power pack.
It was a setup.
Duke out we want exactly. It's setup episode.
Yeah.
Next episode feels like it's going to be adrenaline pumping.
Heaters.
Drama.
Dramamine.
Drama. Well, not drama meme because then we'll be asleep.
That's very true. Okay, never mind. Drama.
Just drama.
Straight.
TNT, baby.
TNT.
I want next week. I want to watch The Bachelor on TNT because you know why?
TNT.
Knows drama.
TNT. Dynamite. TNT. And I'll win the fight. Yeah, chat soon, broads.
I'm a power load.
Watch me explode. Chat soon. Welcome to the High Class, Highbrow podcast. We love you guys. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next week. Chat soon.
Love you.